Hi, my name is Melissa Keller. I'm a therapist and yoga teacher here at CAPS, and my pronouns are she and her, and I'm practicing today on Tohono O'odham land. So thanks for being here for this practice. I'm going to lead you through a short flow that is aimed at just feeling a little bit more grounded in our bodies and helping us access a little bit more safety and just nurture ourselves today. So this will be a short 15 to 20-minute flow. So we're going to begin just finding a comfortable seat. And you can either just be on your yoga mat, or if you want, you can bring a little bit of lift to your hips through having a blanket or a bolster or block. And whatever you're seated on, just take a moment to breathe here. Feel your hips anchor down into the floor. Move the ribs back slightly so that the shoulders stack over the hips. Tilt the chin down slightly toward the floor so that the back of the neck elongates. And there's a little bit of lift that comes to the top of the head. And you can have your eyes closed here if that's comfortable, or gaze gently at a point in front of you. And as you breathe, continue to feel your hips root down into the mat, and the top of your head gently lift up toward the sky. Feeling those 2 points of connection between the earth and the sky. And as you're ready, allow the right ear to drop to the right shoulder, and then gently bring the head through center, left ear to left shoulder. And just moving back and forth like this with these head rolls. Move with your breath at your own pace. I'll be giving different cues throughout class, and I encourage you to just really take care of yourself. You know your body best. If there's ever anything that feels uncomfortable or that you don't want to do, just, you don't have to. Find something else. It's going to work in your body. Allow the head to come up to center. If the eyes have been closed, allow them to open. Bring left hand to right knee, right hand behind hips, and twist gently, looking over the right shoulder. Think about everything below the belly button moving to the left, and everything above the belly button moving to the right. So as if you were wringing out a washcloth or a towel. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, twist. And then switch sides. Right hand comes to left knee, left hand behind hips. Again, sit up tall on the inhale. And twist on the exhale. Think about moving everything below the belly button to the right, everything above the belly button to the left. And it doesn't have to be a super tight twist. You don't have to look too far, just a really gentle rotation. And then come back to center. Walk the left hand over to the left, right arm up, overhead, stretch. And on your exhale, switch sides, right hand to the right, left hand overhead, and stretch. And we'll just go back and forth a few times, moving with the breath. Rooting the hips down, feeling a nice extension in the side body. And last side. Come onto hands and knees, tabletop pose. Arms, upper legs, straight up and down. And press down evenly through the first index knuckle and the palm of the hand. So that's this first knuckle right here. And then grip the floor evenly with all fingertips. Walk the toes back, or walk the knees back a few inches, tuck the toes under, and press back, downward dog. Bring your knees or your feet as wide as your mat and bend the knees. Press down strongly through the shoulders, through the hands. Squeeze the legs in towards each other, and then straighten the legs and bring the hips to or toward the mat, reaching the sits bones, reaching the hips back up toward the wall behind you. Once again, inhale and exhale. And then bring the knees back down. Sit back on your heels, toes tucked under, and just take a moment here in hero's pose. So bring the ribs back, allow the top of the head to reach forward, or to reach up, and interlace the hands behind the back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, and either keep the elbows bent or begin to straighten the arms back behind you. Lift the heart center up towards the sky. Move ribs back. Squeeze legs gently toward each other. And then release, come back into downward dog, this time just for a moment. Get a nice symmetrical stretch on the whole body. And then look forward and step hands up, or step your feet up in between your hands. You can either have your legs straight here if that's comfortable, or bend them enough so that your ribs and thighs are connected, and allow your head to fall forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. On an inhale, lift halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. We'll just keep moving like this with the pace of your own breath. If you want, you can even sigh audibly on your exhale. Step the feet hip width apart and grab opposite elbows, allowing the head and torso to hang. You can either rock side to side or shake your head, yes or no. Allowing a full deep exhale.
bring hands to hips, and slowly, one vertebrae at a time, begin to roll the spine up to standing.
You can stay facing forward. I'm just going to turn to face you for a moment. Standing hip width apart, feet hip width apart, come into Tadasana. So legs strong. If your legs are straight, toe and thighs, tighten kneecaps. Tuck your tailbone. Move your ribs back. Bring shoulder blades together on the back and reach the top of the head up toward the sky. Feel yourself standing strongly in mountain pose. Inhale, lift arms up. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. And then coming to the top of your mat, if you're not there, step the left leg back to come into a low lunge. Bring the left knee to the floor. The back toes can either stay tucked or they can be flat on the mat. Bring hands to hips and come up for monkey lunge, Anjaneyasana. Squeeze front heel, back knee towards each other. Either stay here with hands on hips, breathe here, or bring the hands by the ears and then extend the arms up overhead. Tuck the tailbone, move the ribs back. Keeping this engagement in the legs and the core, you can either stay here or bring the hips forward. Stretch the heart center up toward the sky, perhaps look up. Allow the hands to come around either side of the front foot. Bring your back leg perpendicular to the mat, toes on the mat, and straighten that front leg. Flex foot, flare toes. Either stay here if you're getting a nice stretch along the back side of the hamstrings, or begin to bring the heart center toward the shin for runner's lunge. This is a great place to allow that audible exhale. So inhale, exhale, twice more. Inhale, bend the front knee. Bring hands alongside the foot. Step left leg forward, right leg back. Come onto low lunge, second side. Drop that back knee to the mat. Keep the toes curled under or down on the mat. Come up, hands to hips. Squeeze front heel, back knee toward each other. Engage low belly, move ribs back. Stay here, breathe here, hands on hips, or bring hands by ears, and then extend arms up overhead. Squeeze shoulder blades together on back. Keeping all this engagement in the legs and in the core, stay here or begin to lower the hips towards the mat. Stretch up through heart center. Perhaps allow your gaze to look up. Perhaps allow the corners of your mouth to lift. Bring hands alongside front foot. Shift hips back, so back upper thigh is perpendicular to mat. And then bring this front leg straight. Toe and thighs, tighten kneecaps. Flex the foot and press forward through the heel. And then stay here or begin to fold. Heart center coming toward shin. Inhale fully. Exhale through a loose jaw. Inhale again. And exhale. Once more, inhale. Exhale. Bend the front knee, bring hands alongside foot. Step forward with the right foot. Ardha Uttanasana, forward, half forward fold, and then Uttanasana, forward fold. And then now just find your way to the mat, so have a seat on your bum. Stretch both legs out long. You can move the flesh of your thighs, flesh of your buttocks out from underneath your sits bones. And then cross the right leg over the left leg, sole of foot on floor. And then bend the left leg so that your hips, let me move so you can see me a little better. So your left foot is here alongside your hips. And then kind of even out the hips so that you're well seated on the floor. Hold the right knee with your left hand. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, twist, right arm comes behind you. And again with this twist, think about everything below the belly button moving to the left, everything above moving to the right. Unwind, come back to center, legs out straight. Shake your legs out a little bit. And then cross the left leg over the right leg, sole of foot on floor. Bring the right foot alongside the left hip. And then again, even out, so moving the flesh out as you need to so that your sits bones are rooted on the mat. Bring the right hand to the left knee, left arm up, inhale. Exhale, rotate to the left. Think about that wringing out a washcloth image again. So everything below the belly button coming to the right, everything above coming to the left. And then inhale, come back to center. Extend the legs out long. You can see the sign. Bring the sole of the left foot to the right inner thigh. Tone the right leg, so flex foot, flare toes, engage the thigh. And then either stay here or begin to walk the hands forward for Jana Shushasana, head to knee pose. Lead with this heart center. And then when you've come as far as you can, you may begin to lower the head last, bowing the head to the wisdom of your heart. And allow the hands to come around the heel if that's comfortable, if that's in your practice. Another great way to practice this pose is to actually bend the knees so that the ribs and thighs stay connected. And then slowly begin to push the heel away from you by keeping the ribs and thighs connected. So just finding what works best in your body today, what feels good. And do your best to relax your shoulders, relax your face. And then on your next inhale, rise and switch sides. So left leg comes long, right leg comes, right sole of the foot comes to the left inner thigh. Square the hips, engage this left leg, make the thigh strong, tone thighs, tighten kneecaps. And then either stay here or begin to fold forward. Think about this left foot pushing away from you as if you were standing on a wall. That can help the legs stay engaged. And when you've brought your heart center as far forward as it can come, then allowing your head to bow to the wisdom of your heart. inhale, rise up. Bring both legs out long on your mat. And then this time we're all gonna bend the knees. Bring the ribs and thighs together. And then holding the outside of your feet, begin to slowly walk the heels forward and stretch forward through heart center. And then as you're ready, allow the forehead to come to or toward the shins. Squeeze the inner legs towards each other. Press out and away through your heels. This action of keeping the ribs and thighs together just protects the low back. And one last big inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, rise up and come up to seated. Okay, so we're gonna turn around and come to lying on your back. You can bring the knees in for Supta Balasana, reclined child's pose. Hold opposite elbows or hold hands. And just squeeze the knees in toward the torso. You can roll side to side. Give your low back a nice massage. Bring both feet to the floor. Cross the left or the right ankle over the left knee. Flex the foot, flare the toes, and then interlace hands either behind the left thigh or in front of the left shin, and bring that left knee in toward your torso. You can use your right elbow to kind of push the right knee away from you. As if you were standing on a wall with your right foot, gently press it into that imaginary wall. We're looking for a stretch here in the outer right thigh or the outer right hip. So if you feel any kind of pain in the knee, just back out a little bit until you don't feel pain anymore. Notice if there's any part of your body that's holding tension or that's trying to work that doesn't need to work in this pose. And just allow yourself to soften. Both soles of the feet to the floor, switch sides. Left ankle over right knee, interlace hands behind right thigh and bring knee toward torso. Use your left elbow to gently guide your left knee away from the body. As if you were standing on a wall, press that left foot gently into it. Direct your breath into the left outer hip. And then bring both knees or both feet down onto the mat. Extend your legs out long for Supta Tadasana, reclined mountain pose. And then bring the right knee into the chest. Interlace hands behind the left or the right thigh, and then slowly bring your leg to or towards straight. And press your leg into your hands, hands into the leg. And as you do this, you might feel the back of your pelvis just kind of soften and get a little bit heavier on the mat. This just helps release some of the intricate muscles of the low back. into your torso. Interlace hands behind the left thigh, straighten or bring your leg towards straight, and then press the thigh into hands, hands into thigh. Lower the left leg to the mat. Bend the knees so feet come flat to the floor. Have your arms out either in a T or bent for our cactus arms, and gently let both knees fall to the right for double diamond or double dorje. Have a gentle engagement in the feet and the heels. We're going to protect the knees. You can either look up or look to the left. Bring knees up through center. Let knees fall over to the left, second side. Either look up or to the right. Bring both knees in and hug the knees in toward the torso one last time for Supta Balasana, giving yourself a nice big squeeze. And then if there's any last pose that you need that feels good in your body that you want to do right now, go ahead and do it. And if not, you can just stay here resting in Supta Balasana for a few more breaths. And then allow the feet to come to the floor. And there's a few options we have for our final resting pose. So one is to bring the feet as wide as your mat and allow the knees to rest in on each other. This is called constructive rest. And this can feel really good, especially if you have any kind of tenderness in your low back and just lying flat on your back doesn't feel good. This can help. So that's one option. Another option is if you're near a wall, you can actually come up. I'll show you and do a legs up the wall. So you come so your hip is right up against the wall. And then you bring your legs up and sort of rotate so that then your bum comes to the wall and your legs are up. This is really restorative for the nervous system. So this is legs up the wall. You're welcome to stay here for your final resting pose. Or another option is to come into Shavasana. So lying on the back. Allow the legs to extend out long on your mat. Allow your hands to splay out to the sides. And just letting go of any effort, so allowing yourself to surrender to gravity. And then we'll rest here for a few minutes. slowly begin to deepen your breath. Bring the hands anywhere on the torso that brings you a sense of comfort. Thank yourself for the time that you spend caring for yourself. Allow yourself as much as you're able to receive that gratitude. And as you're ready, bring both soles of the feet to the floor. Roll over onto the right side and just rest here for a moment. Use the strength of your arms to bring yourself back up to the seated position where we first began today's practice. You can either place your hands on your knees or hands over the heart, or if it feels comfortable, hands in prayer position on Jali Mudra in front of the heart center. And one last time, bow your head to the wisdom of your own heart and just thank yourself for practicing today. Thanks for taking this time and allowing me to guide you in this practice. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Be well.